For poor girls in underage world, you're safe in Ace's
And we're back.
It never gets old, does it?
It never gets old, baby.
I love it. It never gets old.
It never gets old. Welcome back
Welcome
to Ace's
back.
Space.
This is our official episode 1.
Well, yes,
What? Yeah.
official. Well, technically it's episode 2, but that was,
Technically, it's episode 2. The last episode was...
it was an intro
Little bit
episode
of-
where we
yeah.
just talked so much about Disneyland.
This episode is going to be a little more on par with how things are going to go in these
I don't
streets.
know what you're talking about. I think we're just going to become a Disney adults podcast and
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. That's what we agreed on.
only talk about Disneyland.
Exactly.
Each episode we come back with a new hack of how to live in Disneyland.
Oh my hell.
If you didn't listen to our last
No.
episode, it's all about people living in Disneyland. Sounds interesting, right? Go listen.
And yep, we made a podcast just to talk about that.
Yep, that's it.
We
What
might
if,
have.
imagine if we did.
No, today's way more juicy.
Today's
is.
a juicy episode.
But let's start with this week's tea.
True.
This week's tea.
What's new? Wait, Al has
Yes.
a story. She's
Yes.
been waiting to tell us.
She has.
I have been holding back because I wanted to share with not only the girlies, but you guys as well. So we're going to get the
Hit
girlies'
us.
initial
Tea of the
reactions.
week.
Please. Okay, so we, as you know, girls, we were all debating on going to that comedy show last night. There's a weekly comedy show that happens in our neighborhood, and we love to go to it. Number one, because it's free, and there's amateur comics, and it's usually really fun. But
There's really good wine.
Yeah,
and there's
really good wine.
amazing wine. That's actually the main
Main reason we go.
main draw because we all love wine. So basically, I kind of swore it off like a month ago because it started getting kind of weird. Like I felt like I was not having fun. I felt like it was becoming a source of stress for me because I don't know if you guys have not been to amateur comedy shows. Like they're really interesting because sometimes you go and it rocks because people are so funny, but then sometimes you go and people bomb like back to back,
yes.
bomb, and it's just really hard to watch a comic bomb. To be honest, like.
Yes.
It's not even like it's so awkward. You feel bad for them. They're so visibly uncomfortable. You're visibly uncomfortable. And it's kind of like it can turn into an hour of just sheer pain.
And like pity laughing.
Yeah.
And it's and
or
it
just
sucks.
like dead silence.
That's
No,
me.
I know.
I get tired from pity laughing.
I do
because
too.
I can't handle
It's
like no one laughing.
we're
And then I'm
the-
like, oh, I'm drained now because I've been pretending to laugh for an hour.
Yeah.
I want to go to bed and sleep. I need to take a nap after that.
Like this
Holy
was supposed
shit.
to be fun, and I like literally am like so anxious because I feel so bad for this person. They're doing so bad.
holy shit. it's a lot.
So this is an amateur comic show, so that happens a lot. And it started happening a little too much that I was like, I don't know if I consider this a fun event anymore. I kind of consider this charity work
Like
at
they
a point,
should
and
pay
I'm a little
us to be
Yeah,
there.
I'm a little drained
The
by the whole
second
thing.
hand
Yeah, yeah.
embarrassment is a massive
Well, there was one
cost.
specific comic, not to go off what you're about to tell us, but I remember the other week, like there was one specific comic where not only did this person bomb, but it got like aggressive
Yeah.
and really weird.
Really
like
aggressive.
Was that when we were there? I think I was. at
Yes,
that
Ken
one.
was there. She was in town. And it got to the point where it's like this person was scrambling so bad that they were bringing up like really
yeah.
heavy shit.
Yeah,
That
so
was
basically
bad.
With no punchline.
So basically, this is what I've noticed is happening at this comedy show. I'm noticing a pattern with young amateur comics that they a lot of the time don't know the difference between trauma and something that's funny.
Oh no.
So-
Yes, I
This was what
totally agree
happened.
with that.
This is what happened.
Yep.
This is what continues to happen at the show. But anyways, I hadn't gone for like a month. Then last night I was like, you know what? It's happening. I'm not doing anything. Me and my girlfriend were bored. We're like, let's go get some wine and let's just check out the comedians.
Yeah.
So we go. The night starts off great. One girl's so fucking funny. We're like dying. She's amazing. So we're like, yay, we caught a good night, whatever. Nope. We caught one. That was it. The next girl goes, bombs, super awkward. She's mad. Everyone feels weird.
Oh, she's mad.
Everyone gets mad. Like
Yeah.
that's another thing too. I'm like, you can't get
It's
mad.
not our fault.
Like
You're not funny.
I've seen people get so angry at this
No, but
show.
they'll blame the crowd. And that's the other thing
Yeah,
that's
they get
I
mad
think
at
is
the
a
people at
very
the show.
that's another thing that I think is a really, really rookie move. And again, like, we're over here judging comics. Honestly, you guys are amazing. I could never be a comedian.
never
do
I
what
think that
stand-up
it takes
does.
like some serious fucking bravery to be a comic.
vulnerable.
And it's so vulnerable. And you are being told in real time if you are good or not.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like as a musician, you can get up on stage and you can kind of get lost in your own world, even if people aren't giving you the best reaction. Like you know, people, it's different, right? You can kind of hide behind that. But a comic, it's like there's nothing to hide behind. Like you're funny or you're not.
Yeah.
And also, certain crowds think you're funny, certain crowds don't. Like it's. I'm sure it's absolutely
Everyone has
nerve wracking,
different
but
senses of
Yeah.
humor.
that's the craziest thing to me is like when I see people when they'll start blaming the crowd and being like, "Damn, these jokes usually work. What's wrong with y'all?"
Like,
I'm
what's
like,
wrong with
dude,
you guys?
you can't do that.
Yeah, I remember specifically there was one guy who was like just this straight older white guy, and he was like, wait a minute, how many people in here are straight? And like, we're in Echo Park, so like nobody raised their hand essentially, and he was like, that's why I'm bombing.
I was like,
Okay.
oh no.
I was like, what?
What?
I was like, yeah, yeah. He's like, I can't do gay rooms. I guess I can't do gay rooms. We're like,
I was like,
well,
oh boy.
Oh, the jokes
not.
get tricky.
it gets tricky. Anyways, so back to the
Yes,
core
hit
to
us
the
with
core
the-
event.
yeah.
So whatever, we get one funny girl, we're happy. And you know what? Honestly, given how things have been going at that event, I'm glad we even got one funny girl because a lot of times you go in and you get no funny girls, but then some nights you go in and like a bunch of huge comics show up and it's like actually insane and so funny. So anyways, next girl goes, she bombs, she's mad. But then guy after her goes and I
Silence.
lost for words. Okay, so this guy, his whole thing, he wasn't even trying to be funny at a point. He was just telling us about how he loves sex parties. And he was like going into detail about weird.
party.
Oh,
You know what a sex party is? It's pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, like we'll get into that. We have a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yeah.
Let's pin that. Sex parties pinned for
Sex
Katie.
parties, whatever you can imagine, Katie. It's a bunch of adult people showing up ready to have sex.
Yeah.
in every way possible
Yeah.
with as many people.
And sometimes there's themes and sometimes there's not. But it's
Yeah.
a bunch of adults
Honestly,
showing up to fuck.
Honestly, I've never been to one, so anyone who's been to one, maybe chime in the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it like?
Kind of like the swinger culture a little bit too.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like they're-
sure. A lot of couples go,
Yeah.
single people go, whatever. Anyways, this guy's whole set was centered around
Sex parties.
and how he loves to go to sex parties. And like, I wish there were punchlines or some reason why it would have been funny, but it was just him telling us about his weird sex parties. And I'm not like trying to be like,
dude.
No
I'm not trying
shame,
to
yeah.
shame him. I'm more just like, I'm at a comedy show. I don't really want to hear about this like 45-year-old weird guy's like
Ew.
kinks and like his weird experiences at sex parties.
No one wants to hear that.
And it wasn't even
Some people do, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He's
some
got his demographic.
Not us.
No.
Not us though.
Yeah.
Not the lesbians in Echo Park.
So
I don't
basically, he
think.
like tells. I'm not even. I was thinking about telling you guys the story. Maybe I won't share it on the podcast. 'Cause I'm like, I didn't want to hear this story, so I probably won't tell you.
Yeah.
But he just told us like all these things I just wish I didn't know about him. And so I was like, I was looking at my girlfriend like, oh, like I was like, I remember why I don't come to this comedy show.
Oh my
anymore.
God.
Did anyone
Like,
laugh?
it's just
Was
too
it-
unhinged.
Did he bomb or like were people laughing?
Bomb. Like everyone was like, what is happening right now? Like,
Whoa.
is this guy a comedian or is he just like
Looking to pick people up after the show.
I'm like, what?
Literally.
And then at the end of his set, he announced that he hosts another comedy show at a sex shop, and I was like, definitely not going to that. Unless,
Comedy show at a sex shop.
I was like,
go off.
unless it sounded kind of fun at first, but then when I thought about it, I was like, I would maybe go to that in like a group of people, or if I was looking to find where like sex parties. If I was looking to get invited to a sex party, maybe
There
I'd
we
go to that.
go.
But like, if that's not your intention and you just want to go to a comedy show, I don't think you should go to the comedy show at the sex shop. But anyways, he brought
Yeah.
the sex shop energy to the other comedy show, and I was kind of
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. Afterwards, I was just like,
No more.
no more of
Jail.
this show.
Literally jail for
I was
comedy
like,
night.
I just wish it was funny.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
if it was funny, it maybe would have been better, but it just wasn't
I
funny. It
feel-
was just like, wow, that was weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like the really talented comedians have a way of talking about the trauma and talking about the weird sex stories in a way that's funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
that's
yes.
the talent.
Yes.
It's like taking those things that normally like maybe wouldn't be funny and making them funny.
Yeah, like oversharing to just overshare is not funny.
That's not
Yeah.
funny.
Like you have to overshare in a way that you can link it back into like some sort of comedic relief.
But
Yeah,
also,
you
like,
know?
people find something funny that they can relate to. Like, oh my gosh, I know how that feels kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's not anything someone can relate to happening, it, like, needs to be shocking enough to be so funny. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? Like,
100%. That is tragic. I'm
was
sorry that you had to
honestly-
endure that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that was really...
That's your tea.
That's the main tea. I would go into more detail, but I'm like, you guys don't want to know. You guys don't want to
We got
know what
enough
he
juicy
was
things
saying.
to talk about.
Damn,
We
yeah.
got a lot.
We got a lot going.
On that topic, that's a good way to segue because this episode is about sex, love, and dating.
Yes.
Passion.
This is Ace's Love Life episode. We're gonna be talking about
This is the tea you all
everything.
wanted.
This is the tea y'all want. We're gonna go in. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk about our biggest icks. We're gonna talk about our worst dates, our first kisses, maybe our worst sex stories, biggest turn-ons. We have a lot to cover.
We got a lot.
Let's kick it off. Let's
Should-
kick it right off.
should we kick it off?
Should we start with
icks?
biggest icks?
Should we start with
Well,
icks?
wait. First of all, should we start with what's going on in everyone's love life?
Yeah, let's do
Oh
that.
yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's-
Little
Let's
catch
do
up.
that. Okay, Elise, you want to start? What's going on in your love life?
I could start. I'm in a new relationship. You
How's
girls
that?
know this. It's fantastic.
How's that going for you?
Having a great time. Love her to death. She's awesome. So I'm pretty boring.
Yeah?
I love you, Mimi.
I'm
You're
just
wifed up?
absolutely
Do you
vibing
want
with
to
my girl.
Do you want to share like how did you meet? Like
Yeah.
how long have you been dating?
Yep.
Like, give the people what they want.
Yeah, her name is Amelia. I met Amelia through a friend that I'd known for a while and I hadn't seen for a while. And I kind of just reconnected with them over Instagram. I was like, hey, what's up? Do you still live in LA? Like it had been that long. Like I was like, do you still live in the state?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I do actually. And I was like, well, do you want to hang out sometime? She's like, yeah, I'm throwing a party. Come. So it was like pretty quick. I was like sick. I was single at this time. So I was very accustomed to doing stuff on my own because a lot of my friends are in relationships. So I just pulled up by myself. I was there to have a good time. And she introduced me to her next door neighbor who ended up being Amelia, who then ended up a couple months later becoming my girlfriend. So yeah, I just met her through a friend, super organic. We just clicked right away.
Mimi.
And I wasn't expecting
Mimi.
it. Definitely an unexpected new relationship, but
Yes.
one that I'm really happy fell into my lap.
Hell yeah.
Woo, new love.
We love you, Mimi.
We love you, Mimi. We love you, Mook.
Well, that's one thing you got to know if you end up becoming one of the siggos of the Aces is you might have 5 or 6 different
so
nicknames.
many.
in a
Yeah, the
matter
nicknames
of
just rotate.
one day.
So many.
So I
Your
call her.
name
We call her
doesn't
Mimi
matter.
for the most part. We'll call her
Yeah.
Mimi.
Mimi.
Yeah, you're pretty much only gonna get called your real name maybe the first time they meet you, and
When
then
you're
you're
in trouble.
never gonna be called your real name again.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That
Katie,
is
you're
true.
next. Our single
Katie,
lady.
what's going on with you?
My single self. I've been on the Hinge carousel for a
Yes.
long time.
Yep.
Long time.
Long time.
Um,
you also
seen-
recently moved to LA, which is huge.
I
Yes.
recently moved to LA.
What's that like?
4
What's
months
that been
ago.
like for you? Being queer in Los Angeles because you lived in
Yeah.
Utah, obviously before, and when you were out.
Right.
But wait, how long have you been out now? When did you come
Um,
out officially?
I came out publicly in the pandemic.
2020, right?
Yeah, like at the very beginning of 2020.
So like 2 years now, right?
Yeah, like 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
That's crazy.
And you've lived in LA. How long have Katie and I lived together?
Although I was in relationships.
She's been dating.
I'd been dating.
Yes.
I just wasn't publicly out about my
Yes.
sexuality until.
But I think it is a very different, like, I mean,
it's so
you
different.
tell me, I mean, I don't want to put words in
it
your
just
mouth, but
wasn't when I first started dating women. That's-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. But how does it feel to be out and be in LA now actively dating versus
Yeah.
Utah?
Yeah.
How are your feelings on that?
I love it. It's great. I think,
What are the differences? Like,
dating
what do you
in
notice?
Utah, dating in Utah was hard because a lot of people I met, were people who maybe weren't publicly out. Like
Yeah.
they were going on dates trying to figure out their sexuality or felt really scared to be open about their sexuality given if they, grew up Mormon or
Right.
whatever. It was a lot of the same story. It was really hard to like date someone who
Yeah, I felt like you would tell us you'd be like, I think I'm gonna go on a date with this girl, but like she is just, I think she's only bi curious, or
Yeah.
she hasn't told any. Like there was just a lot of like, and obviously we grew up in that culture, so we understand how hard it is to be out and queer there. So
Yeah.
like no shade, but it seemed like there was a lot of that of you being like, gosh, like can I just date a girl that's like out and like
comfortable in their own skin,
is comfortable,
kinda
yeah,
been through, like what they need to go through and like
Right.
feel a bit more comfortable. I met a lot of girls who were not comfortable.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
kind of
that's
that.
hard.
Yeah, that's really
Or I would talk to a lot of girls and then it would be like, we were going to go on a date. And then right before the date, they'd be like, I have to be honest. I've never been on a date with a girl. And like, I'm feeling kind of scared and like, I don't want to put you in. It's like, okay, well, what?
And you don't like
you're
ready
you're
to
too
date.
you're past
Yeah,
that. Yeah, you're
yeah,
past
past
that.
that.
Again, everyone's in their own place in their journey, but you were past
I
that.
was
You were
past
ready
that,
to
yeah.
like really.
And I was like, hey, support you in the journey. Can't be by your side, but I support you.
Exactly. Smart and good, and that's good for you.
That's called
We love-
boundaries.
We love
Right?
boundaries.
And when we would come to LA for work, background, I was in a relationship for a long time and then I was newly single dating. I came to LA, Kara, like got on my Hinge and basically
Yes.
like helped me get on my first dates in LA. But it was just so nice to go on dates here, especially now moved here and meeting people, because they just come from such like LA is such a diverse melting pot of people that they all have just such different backgrounds and their own kind of stories. And it's not, you know, in Utah is like, oh, we're all the same. We got the same trauma. And like we're still figuring it out, which is fine.
That can be nice if you meet someone
nice.
who's where you're at. But if they're not where you're at, you're like, ooh.
100%.
Like, you don't want to go back and sit in the trauma for too long.
Yeah.
Because it's already so hard to get out of it yourself that it's like you want someone that's where you're at.
Yeah.
So, all right,
So-
you're dating in LA. What's going on with that?
LA.
Any babes?
Any hot
hotties?
babes? Wink,
Yes,
wink.
I've yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
babes.
Some
Kind
babes.
of been seeing someone for a little bit. We'll see. It's been great. Not complaining.
Not complaining.
Definitely
Love
not
that for you.
complaining.
And
know
we
who
do-
you are. She's not complaining about you.
We love a summer love.
And we
Love
do,
summer love.
and we do like
Right.
her. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Watch. I'm imagining her listening to this being like, well, she's not complaining about me.
Yeah. So good to know.
Yeah. honestly, for
So
real.
you're kind of seeing someone,
Kind of, yeah.
kind of doing your
I
thing.
guess I would say so.
Yeah, I would say you are. I live
Yeah.
with you. I think you're kind of seeing someone.
Crystal, Crystal gets like,
I get
I wake
all
up
the
in the
tea.
morning and Crystal's like,
I sit her down and I'm like, "What's the update?"
let's chat.
Because
Oh,
Katie is a very she's gotten so much better, but
Yeah.
she's a very secretive kind of to herself
am.
person, and so
I've improved a little bit.
but she'll tell you.
so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
a lot.
So
Thank you.
much.
You're
I
way
used
more.
to be a closed book.
Yeah.
Yes,
I did
And we've
not talk.
pried her open,
You
layer
have.
by layer.
We
Like
have
girls have.
Onion.
we have forced her to be open with us. But Katie now at this point, I think she's more of like a if you ask, I'll tell.
Right.
Yes.
Like you have to ask her. So
Right.
like I'll sit her at breakfast. I'm just like, well, now you'll come to me and you'll tell me stuff just to tell me.
Yeah.
But for the most, I'll sit her down and we'll be eating breakfast together. And I'll just be like, give it to me.
Yep.
Give me all the tea. And she'll be
Give
like,
it to
okay.
me.
And she'll tell me
Crystal's
everything
good
that
at
happened.
asking questions too, in any scenario. But
Yeah.
it's good
Try.
for me because I need to be around people who are good at asking questions. Because I
Yeah.
kind of need to open up.
Yep.
I'm just not gonna be the one to be like, okay, I got to talk about this.
Right.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if you ask me, I will spill.
Yeah.
I will.
So Katie spills. So Katie's kind of seeing someone.
Meanwhile, I'm always like, I probably shouldn't tell everyone everything.
Me too.
I could probably stand to close a little bit.
I'm such an oversharer. I'm like,
Me too.
I need to be a little bit more mysterious.
Oh, I think people are shocked, like when they start hanging out with us, like around us, like people on tour or whatever. I think they get shocked because like we'll fully ask you the most intimate details of your life,
And like,
and they'll be
all
like,
of our trauma.
but you know what? I think that it's like actually really charming. I think that some people they're taken aback at first, and then they're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Thanks for asking.
love that.
I would
Yeah.
love to talk about it, even if it's something. Cause we all love to talk about ourselves.
we do.
Oh, yeah.
We love to
We all
gab.
do. Everyone in the world, you know,
Everyone
like
does.
it feels amazing when
Well,
someone's
and
like, "Hey,
ultimately-
tell me about what's going on with
yeah,
you."
and we were talking
Yeah.
about this too. Like, ultimately, like, just our human nature is we want to connect deeply with people. Like,
Yes.
that's where we
Yes.
feel fulfilled. That's where we feel connected. I feel like let's just cut the
Cut
gap.
to the chase.
Let's gab in the fucking gab,
Right,
y'all.
right.
Small talk who? Let's
talk
chat.
who.
Honestly.
Gab with the gal.
Chris, you're next.
My update. I have a girlfriend. Her name's Kara.
We love her.
We love
She's our
Kara.
girlfriend.
She's an angel on earth. I love her so much. We are about to celebrate our 2nd anniversary, which is crazy. I think that this is the longest relationship I've maybe ever. Well, my previous relationships were very on and off. Kara and I have just been steady
You guys are cruising.
cruising.
I've been proud to see it, baby.
Yeah, it's been
Cruising,
great.
baby.
She
Kara. Kara's my
is
sister.
literally the girls are so close
We're
with her. They
obsessed with
love her.
her.
She's the best. She's just a sweetheart. So we're just gonna celebrate our 2-year anniversary in like a couple weeks. That's crazy to say. It's already been 2 years.
Wow.
Kara and I
That's
met
crazy.
on Hinge,
It's your longest
In the
relationship,
pandemic.
right?
like consistently long. One of my ex-girlfriends, I think we dated on and off for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
But consistently the
But
longest.
consistently the longest. Yeah.
You guys were a pandemic relationship.
We were a pandemic relationship. We were born in the year of 2020.
Has it felt crazy, like
Conceived.
transitioning into like we went on tour last
Yeah.
fall, and like now obviously it's still an issue, but like it's less of a pandemic relationship. Like, how's that transition?
Yeah.
been?
It's been a really interesting relationship for me because I had never dated anyone before where I was seeing them like pretty much every day.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
where like I was able to be like, yeah, I could see you whenever. Like all of my relationships, because we started touring when, how old were we? Like I was like 19. Elisa was like 17. We were like 19.
2017 was our first tour.
Yeah.
And then 2017,
Yeah.
2018 were like our back-to-back-to-back
Okay, so
tours.
maybe a little later. I was like
Yeah.
21. So, but we were nonstop touring for like until the pandemic, like
Yeah.
5 years. And that was all the
Heavy.
time that really I was having relationships. I think like my first girlfriend I had when I was like 19. And so we weren't touring then, but we were traveling a lot to LA. So I was gone a lot. Like there was just little short stints of seeing each other and then leaving and seeing each other and leaving. And that was kind of like my norm. And so when Kara and I started dating, it was very much like I'm a normal person in the world.
Yeah.
Like I can just date her. But there was also cons to that. Like I wasn't used to that. And I think that at first we spent so much time together and it was like, whoa, okay, we need to have our own life. So it's been cool to kind of like, I feel like I'm so close to her and our relationship is so connected and deep because of the amount of time we've been able to spend with each other and just live like a normal life.
Yeah.
But it also, it's been hard to kind of adjust to that in my own way, to be like, okay, whoa, I've never been like a day-to-day life with someone.
Has it
That's been
felt
interesting.
easier since we've been able to tour again and stuff, or is it still kind of posing a challenge?
I would say that it's has it felt easier? I actually think at first it was kind of hard. I think on her maybe more than she wants to admit. Love you, babe. I'm just gonna say this. I think more than she wants to admit, maybe like she wasn't really like when I would be gone, like she wasn't used to that. Like she would kind of be like, I think there was sometimes like a bit of like an emotional kind of hill to get over of being like, whoa, like to me that's just kind of normal. Like I can snap back into that and be away at it. But I think to her it was a little bit more like, I haven't seen you like in 5 days. Like where are you? Like I miss you.
And a lot of the time too, like when we've been touring and traveling, it's like we need like a good solid couple of days to like reconnect. Like you've been around people and playing shows nonstop. Like it's such a intense
and for the
thing to
most
be
part,
doing.
when we start dating someone, you kind of start knowing the schedule's chaotic. Like you don't see them, like you're not going to see us that much. Whereas you guys started and you could see each other every day.
Yeah, that's definitely I think been more of a struggle. Is like we haven't been as busy quite yet as we like will be, when we put out a new album and stuff. But
She's done great though. I felt
she
like
has.
I
She's
felt like
been
I
awesome.
was curious how it was gonna be because I know that the majority of your relationship had been like no touring. So when we started to tour, I was curious to see how it was going to go because like in my last relationship, like our relationship started when we were like heavily in the middle of a tour cycle. So it was always this thing where I was home for like 2 days, 3 days, maybe at the most a week at a time. And then I was gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. So our relationship built very much like almost ticking time bomb vibes.
Yeah, and
where
I
it was like we only
hate
have
that.
4 days together. And it honestly was like pretty whack. But like we made it through.
No, dude, that sucks.
We made it
like my
through.
past relationships, it's the ticking time bomb effect
I hate
on
it.
the
It
relationships.
is.
It's so hard.
It's so
like,
hard.
That's probably my least favorite part about what we do is like that when your time gets limited like that, and when you start being like, we only have this many days, so we better do this and this and this,
And we can't fight. 'cause
and we
have
can't
2
fight,
days
and like you can't, and it's not
that
realistic.
too.
Yeah.
Like, I only have 2 days here and we're gonna fight.
So then you
and,
don't
like,
talk about
The Dear
stuff.
John
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
The Dear
It's
John
a lot.
effect.
I also think it can make things, it can go one of two ways. It can either be like your relationship will be prolonged because like you're only seeing each other for such short amount of times and not dealing with a ton of real life stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it can be a source of like major stress.
Totally.
Yes,
It can go
agreed.
either way.
I've definitely been a victim of the first scenario of like staying in a relationship longer than I ever would have. I think that's what makes me like with Kara. I think what makes me know that like we're really good together is the fact that we've been able to be together so much
Yeah.
all the time,
consistently,
Yeah.
and like we still get along. We still have so much fun. Like that's what I think has been.
A lot of people, sorry to cut you off. A lot of people broke up during the pandemic because they couldn't be together that much.
You realize like though the everyday thing not gonna work.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with me. Love her to death, and
Happy
Happy
girl.
2 years.
Happy girl.
Kenny
what's
Reed.
going on with you?
I'm a married woman.
So
Kenna's
crazy.
married. Talk to us
We
about
love
the
it.
married life.
It never gets old. It never gets old to remember that Kenna's married.
Kenna's a
Never
married
gets old.
woman.
It's honestly shocking to say that out loud still to me. Like the good old ball and chain.
That's
Good old
crazy.
ball and chain.
Good old
Yeah.
ball and chain. I've been together with Cal for 6 years now.
Callan Roth.
Callan Roth. Mr. Roth.
Kalun, all the nicknames.
And we love Callan. Callan's so sweet.
We love
Yes.
him. But
He
we've
is a champ.
been married. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary, so it's been sick.
Wow.
It honestly feels like our relationship has just morphed into so many different relationships at this point. Like it was kind of the same when we started dating too. It was the first year of us dating, I think we calculated I was gone for 8 months out of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like
Crazy.
the biggest year of touring
2018.
for us.
Yeah, we were never home.
Yep.
So we started out with that dynamic, which we did really well with. And then, transitioning to the pandemic, we honestly did. It was like really nice to finally be together too. It felt like a really needed time. But we've just gone through so many different life changes and transitions together at this point. But it feels like we're in a really good place right now. Like,
You guys have gone through a lot together.
yeah.
Yeah. What did you?
nice.
How did you and Cal meet?
So we met we had actually a lot of friends trying to set us up. We're both from Utah, obviously. Cal grew up like 20 minutes from us,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Wild. Just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
But we had friends trying to set us up for a couple years, and always like one of us was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then we finally met in a class because I went to college. We met in a class. He was dating someone during that whole semester, but I met him. We like sat next to each other one day and like introduced ourselves, and I thought he was so cute. Like I remember I would like make sure I like looked good before I went to that class. And like it's
cute.
Like I had the biggest crush on him ever.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that class, I think it was a week like after the semester ended, he DM'd me on Instagram and he had just broken up with the girl he was dating.
I didn't know he did.
He was like,
Yeah.
got my eyes set
Yeah.
on Kenny Ree.
And he slid right on into the DMs, and we went on a date a couple weeks later, and the rest is history. Just
Yeah.
since then.
incredible.
But yeah, it feels good. Like I feel like we're in a really good place where it's been like a rough couple of years, just like with the pandemic and just individually like huge life transitions and just like growing and changing so much.
Yeah.
But it feels like we're finally just settled into like a really good place.
Yeah.
Where we both are just
Cutest house ever. Like cutest.
Yeah, we have our little
dog.
house. We
Yeah.
have like such a good routine. We're still living in Utah, but yeah, it's honestly feeling really good. It's fun. Like it's so shocking realizing how young I got married, even still.
Yeah.
But it's really fun going through all of that together. Like it's
Yeah.
special that we can look back and be like, we were together then. Like we went
Yeah.
through all of those different hard things together, and it's sweet.
Well, I would
Yeah.
say, like,
Aw.
do you think it's safe to say that you two have been able to like help each other come to a place of going through a lot of
Absolutely.
changes? Like you've been because you've been together, like been able to like, go like because you've been through some getting out of religion, like all these things
Yeah.
together. Would you
Yeah.
say like being together kind of helped you go
Absolutely,
through
yeah.
those things?
Yeah, for sure. I think that like I needed our relationship in a lot of ways to like help me transition and to just have that space for each other. Like I really needed Cal's just amazing. Like he just gives so much space. He's like a lot more independent than other people that I dated before,
Yeah.
and just like really understanding and kind and sweet. And I feel like it just was the perfect environment for us to like grow a lot individually and together too.
He is like a steady, consistent
He's a
guy.
He's a
guy.
rock.
It's
He's
the
a
only
rock.
he's the only steady thing.
Yeah.
in this
Definition
world.
He is.
rock.
Definition rock. And that's what I noticed
Yeah.
like in the beginning when you first started dating him. He was just really consistent and
Yeah.
really patient. And I think if you were ever going to be married at like a young age, he's the guy.
He's the guy. And like I don't know if everyone knows, like where we grew up, it's really normal to get married. Like we actually got like we dated for 3 years before we got married, which
wasn't normal.
Isn't
Not
normal.
normal
That's
in
not
Utah.
normal.
yeah, because we all grew up LDS, but like
Yeah.
we were still active LDS at the time too. Kind of like transitioning. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a
for
different
another
episode
time.
that we will
Another
tackle.
episode. Yeah.
We will tackle that episode.
But it's pretty normal to get married at that age when you're from like where we're from.
Super
So
normal, yeah.
It's just wacky though. Looking back, it's just crazy. Like I'm just so grateful that we made it, because I
Yeah.
feel like we just got really lucky too that we have each other. I don't know. I
I'm
know it
grateful
doesn't
you
work
made
for
it,
everyone.
We're
Yeah.
grateful you made
Yep.
it.
We love Cal. We love Cal Ken. They're a great duo.
Falcon.
Great. Well, guys, we've caught up on our love lives.
We have.
Yes.
Now let's get to the dirty.
Let's get into the dirty
Let's
deep.
get to the dirty. Let's get to the sweaty and the sticky.
The sticky, the dirty.
Whoa. Sweaty and sticky.
I'm saying that because I'm getting so hot.
Yeah.
already.
We can't have AC on while we're recording these, and we're
Yeah.
paying the price. It's mid-July. We're freaking out.
We do it for you. We love you.
Blood, sweat, and tears. This podcast.
We do it for our listeners.
They're gonna hear us just slowly getting like more and more delirious.
No, guys, hydrate. Everyone, make sure they're hydrating. We've caught up on our love life, so let's get into it. Worst dates.
Worst.
Or no, let's start here. Let's do first kiss stories. I feel like that's
Okay.
before
First
worst
kiss.
dates.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Okay, first kiss stories. Lisa, you want to kick us off?
I could.
I could.
I could. My first kiss, you know what? I've had to like really think what my first kiss was for a long time because I was an awkward young child and a lot of my first kisses were like truth or dare things or like random things where like I had kissed people.
Those don't count.
But I was like,
Your
So
first
the
real
first
kiss
thing that
to you.
really sticks out in my mind is like that was a kiss was with a boy, of course, because, you know, closeted young child in conservative town. Of course, I wasn't kissing a girl yet. It's unfortunate. I mean, unless you're Katie, but I wasn't.
Yeah, literally.
So basically, I went to a dance. It was a girls' choice dance called Preference. I don't know if you guys have Preference, but we had a dance called Preference. The girl picked, whatever.
High school dance.
And I'd been vibing. Yes, high school. I was about 15 or 16. And I'd been hanging out with this guy named, should I say a name? Nah. So I was hanging out with this guy and I ended up asking him to the dance. And then, it was like classic doorstep kiss. Like end of the night, went home, went to the doorstep. It was funny because it was a girl choice. Like I'm walking him to his doorstep. So gay. Like, come on, what's happening? What is happening? Get her out of there. So anyways, we go to his doorstep and then, I obviously did not initiate the kiss with this man, but he initiated it with
this
me
man's
and
boy.
with this
Boy
man's-
more like. He was like 15.
With this boy. No, he was older than me.
Oh,
Duh.
okay.
Was it a good kiss?
Yeah, how was it?
Oh, it's
Not, I mean.
no.
What's your first
Like-
kiss with a girl?
Yeah, give us your best.
Okay,
give
sure.
us like
So
your like the
that
one
was my
you care
first
about.
like technical kiss where I was like, okay, whatever, we kissed, it was fine.
technical.
Technical kiss. But my first kiss that I was like, whoa, that was sick. It's also still blurry, to be honest. But I would say like the first, I don't know if this was the technical first kiss I had with a girl, but the first one that came to my mind that sticks out was probably the same year or the next year when I was about 15 or 16. And I had gone on a humanitarian trip and I met a girl there.
Sexy.
And generally
Very
it
sexy.
was so sexy. Wow. I mean, it wasn't like we were in Guatemala, like building houses and
Those
sweating, but it's
humanitarian
still
trips-
Oh,
those
those
trips
are
are
different.
sexy. Like when you meet on retreats like that, like you bond with those people for life. I
like
encourage
living with
everybody.
them.
I encourage everybody if you haven't been on a humanitarian trip, go do it. Like it will literally, it's so fun. It'll change your life. You feel good about it.
My first relationship was I met
was
him
birthed
on
out of
the
those.
same
Yeah.
trip.
They're weirdly like you might fall in love. Like so many people fall in love on
Yeah,
this trip.
Kenna
Like,
literally
you
fell
guys,
in
like,
love.
there's
Kinda
some. I
sexy.
fell in love. Like we all fall in love. Like trust me, if you went, you fall in love with somebody.
That's because it's literally Love Island. You don't have a phone. It's like
Yeah.
service. You're there
Hot.
for one thing. You're living with a group of
Yeah.
people for a couple weeks. Like
Kinda
it's
hot.
bound to
And
like
it's-
build relationships.
And it's bonding too, because you're doing something really special and wholesome. Like you're on a humanitarian trip. You all spent thousands of dollars of your own money to come and like do
there.
shit for
Yeah.
people
We
that
all
need
fall
it.
in love. I'm dead.
So we all fall in love. And so I remember I started to really have feelings for this girl that I'd met on this trip. And it was kind of different for me because I was around I went completely by myself. I didn't know anybody on this trip.
That's the
I
way
went
to
in
do it.
cold. I also suggest don't go with friends.
Don't go with friends.
Force yourself to get to know these people. Go with nobody you knew. And I'd never done something like that. And so I went completely by myself to Guatemala with a bunch of strangers to do humanitarian work. And I met a group of kids that were actually, a lot of them were out. A lot of them were bi or had experiences with same sex, and everyone was like very open and proud. And I'd never been around people like that. And I met a girl that unfortunately wasn't gay, but was definitely not homophobic and was like down to vibe. And so I ended up catching feelings for her. And at the end of the trip, it was funny. Like she kissed me and we just kissed.
in Guatemala.
Yes, randomly on like the
so
last day of the trip.
sexy.
And then we went forward to kind of have this weird thing where we would like make out and hook up sometimes, but like she was straight, but like we would hook up. But like,
it was
weird.
torturous. I didn't
was-
like it for you.
Yeah, it was Girls Make Me Want to Die. Stream Girls Make Me
Yeah,
Want to
literally.
Die.
Stream Girls Make Me
That
Want to Die.
song is about one of those types of relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was torturous. I remember watching Lisa. She was just like really enamored with this girl, and like no shade to her. I think she was just trying to figure herself out.
We were so young. Everyone
And they
was
were so young.
young.
But this girl was just definitely not in a place to be like an actual girlfriend or anything, and Elisa was heartbroken.
I was smitten,
and I hated to watch it.
devastated.
And I hated to watch it. But we all go through those,
We've all been
So that's probably my first kiss with a girl. You
Yeah.
heard about the guy. All right, Katie, let's go.
my first kiss.
A little like this.
Honestly, I loved my
And
first
twist.
kiss. It was after an Aces
And
show.
twist.
No way.
Oh, I know this story.
It was
Katie,
after
this is
an
the
Aces
coveted.
show.
Katie's whole life is a coming of age movie. It
Literally,
Yeah.
we need. Elisa's gonna make a movie about it one
We
day.
will be
We'll
making a
direct
feature
it.
film about it one day.
We will. Yeah, it was after an Aces show, which was iconic. I was hopelessly in love with this girl by the time I first fell when I was 14. So it was my sophomore year of high school. I had just turned 16. I just got my license. I just got my braces off.
Big
I
year.
was feeling
Braces off, huge year,
It was my year.
huge year.
It was my year. Braces were off.
You're so hot.
I
You're
was so
killing
hot.
it.
I'm
Yeah, you're literally
driving
killing
a
it.
Sexy
Damn.
Subaru.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Oh,
killing
a
it.
Subaru! You are killing it in the gayest
In
way
the
possible.
gay world,
Crushing.
I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Subaru, ready to
Braces
go.
off.
I'd say
And
by
in a
any
band.
stride, you're killing it.
In a
Yeah,
band.
I'd agree.
In a band.
Absolutely.
And you're in a
killing
band.
it.
Yeah.
In a band.
Damn.
So we had just recorded, we were called the Blue Aces then. We just finished recording an EP and we were going to do a big EP release show at Velour,
Yep.
which was our hometown
Shout out
venue.
Velour.
Shout
We
out
love
Velour.
you.
We love you.
I fell in love with this girl when I was in 8th grade. We got really close. Feelings ended up being mutual, but like where we were from, it was like, this isn't okay kind of thing. It was a very like forbidden love. And she came to our show. It was iconic. We sold it out.
Hell
Sold out
yeah,
night
we
at
did,
Velour.
baby.
Big
Sold out
deal.
night.
It was
Duh.
big
yeah,
rock
we
stars
did.
on stage. I was stoked. And after the show, we got like all the gear packed up, whatever. And me and her went for a drive
Always
Oh.
a drive.
in my
Drive.
Subaru. And we just like, yeah, we went on a drive. We went to this parking lot and we were just like talking, twinkling. at
Church
each
parking
other.
lot?
Church parking lot.
Hell yeah.
Iconic. For Utah, it's always the church parking
Love
lot.
it.
Always.
Damn, that is
Always.
such a.
You
There's
can feel
so
it.
much going on there. The
Right?
angst, the
Oh.
church,
Symbolism.
the church
Yeah.
steeples in the background. You can't help yourself. You're making out with your first girlfriend. It's
Oh my
just
gosh.
whoa.
It was, and it was
Nothing like
so
it.
like this is not okay.
That's an
Yeah.
art piece.
I love it.
Like we knew this was like
That's an
not
exhibit.
okay.
Which made the kiss 100
Which
times
made
better,
the
for
kiss so
sure.
much better because we both
Crazy.
it was like this thing that was building up. We'd almost kissed so many times that we hadn't yet because we both thought it just was
Damn.
absolutely not okay. And yeah, we were in we were in my Subaru and ended up getting in the same seat and we were just like got really close and it was like this really slow, very like intimate. Like leaned in really, really slow and just like kissed really slow.
I have
And it was like
butterflies.
so
Shiva me Zimbas.
no, it was really
Shiver me
honestly like
timbers.
beautiful. It was like that, like a feeling of like I couldn't feel my whole body, and I was just
Wow.
like I can't believe this is happening
young
right now.
love.
Like kissing
So
like
good.
this girl that I was like so in love with. Like I was
That
just
was that was the peak.
peak.
Yeah.
Oh my
Peak.
gosh, I was like honestly so we like kissed. We had this like amazing little like time. I dropped
Little
her off.
time.
I dropped her off, and I remember driving home like
Shaking.
shaking.
Yeah.
And I opened the door, like my parents, like bless them, like took all the gear from and like in our minivan, like took it home and like
Aw.
or just like I
Aw,
walked
Jeff and
in.
Cindy, shout out.
Yeah, I walked in. They were like watching TV and they're like, "The show was so fun," and I was like,
Like you don't know.
"I was like, the show." Like I like couldn't even remember that happened.
Like yeah, I played a show.
I couldn't feel my whole body. I was like, I'm gonna go to bed now. Like I
So
I gotta go. And
Crazy.
That was my first
That's a
kiss.
good
Let's talk about
Loved it.
slow kissing. Slow kissing for the win, though.
Slow
yeah.
kissing.
It was
Build.
slow.
I can't even believe I just said
passionate.
for the win. Where did that come
Kill
from?
it for the win. What is that? FTW?
What? No, honestly.
baby.
I never know what FTW means because like isn't
Yeah.
that WTF backwards?
the
I'm like what? I
world,
think
what
it's
the
fuck the world. I'm like
fuck?
what does that even
It
mean?
is.
For the win.
Wait,
For the win. But people will be like so and so for the win. And I'm like it's not so and so fuck the world. Like that
could be, I
can't work.
guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
I always
slow
get caught
kissing, pop off.
up. Pop off slow
Slow
kissing.
down.
Yeah.
Life's fast. Slow down.
Slow
down, guys.
Slow down.
Nothing better than a slow, passionate kiss.
Yeah, slow it down.
All right, Chris, give it to us.
Slow on down.
Yeah, guys, slow down.
Yeah, guys, slow down. My first kiss.
Give it to us.
I have two first kisses.
What?
Boy or
Okay.
girl.
Yeah, you
Yeah, give
gotta.
both.
Because I have to tell my boy first kiss because I think it's worth telling because it's really funny because it's one of Katie's to this day, one of her best friends.
Yep.
So Katie and I met because we went to different junior highs.
Me and Kenna went
Kenna
to
went to the
junior
same
high.
one.
Yep.
We went to the same elementary
We
school.
went, yes. So
Me, Crystal, Lisa went to the same elementary school. Then we went to different junior highs. Me
Where
and Katie
I
went to
met
the same
Kenna.
junior high. And then me and Katie went to different high schools. And Katie, Crystal, and Lisa all
Went to the same high school.
yes. So we
That
kind of
obviously
just
makes no sense, but
It really
yes.
doesn't.
We
That's
kind of
fine.
jumped around like schools. Like some of us went different places. It was like a whole thing. So, one of Katie's best friends, we can say him. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Oh, yeah, he'd be
I call
stoked.
well, his name is Lyle, but it's like Josh. I can't get into that. His name's Josh.
Yeah.
So basically, Josh, Katie had this group of guy friends that she was best friends with from the time. How old?
Me and Lyle have been friends since we were born.
Lyle is Josh, so that
Lyle's-
you know.
Well, what are we gonna call him?
let's
call him Josh.
Josh. I
So-
always called him Josh. So let's
Yes,
call
we're
him
gonna
Josh.
call him Josh because I only called him Josh. He started going by Lyle in high school, and that was a whole.
He
Like,
was trying to be
Anyways, this
different.
podcast
We
is
know
about
it's
Lyle.
middle school.
shout out Lyle. Don't mean to hurt you. We want you to be different. So anyway, so Josh, one of Katie's best friends, we met. We're all hanging out in this big group, and we just like had a little crush on each other. Classic 8th grade. We started going out as you do, and it was actually really sweet. My first kiss was with him, and it was like honestly
Wait.
pretty picturesque.
What age is this?
Like 14. Well, there was another kid that like kissed me on the playground when I was like literally 10.
But it was my crush.
It was Kenna's
my
crush.
whole elementary school crush.
But I didn't know.
She didn't know.
I
was
didn't
too
know.
shy. I
Kenna
was
never
too
told me
shy.
that ever.
But I will never forget seeing Crystal kiss him and like the pit in my stomach.
Aww.
Rough.
And to me, and like I was also
so
gay, so like it's just like what did that mean to me? And I didn't know. So in my defense, Kenna never told me that.
When you came out to me, all of those wounds were healed.
They were all
They'd been with you ever since, and then you said that, and you're like, oh, all forgiven.
It was literally like
Yes.
in that second, everything just
She
Yeah.
let it
away.
go.
Like,
She let the
clean.
elementary school kiss
she let it go. Okay, so it gets a little twisted though with Josh because I had a best friend at the time, and I won't say her name because I don't think maybe I should.
I knew what was going on.
I had a best friend
I
at the
think we
time
all
who I
do.
was the first girl that like I really started to kind of like have a crush on. And our friendship, in my opinion, was very motivated by that crush. We were really, really close. Hung out all the time to the point where like it would just become one of those things that was like one-on-one and like friends. Like Ken felt like it's this whole thing. Like Ken was like, you guys are excluding me. And I'm like, I'm literally just gay. Like to me, this is like my girlfriend
I'm
pretty
literally
much.
just like actually in love with this.
Yeah,
person.
like I was just in love with her, and there was like definitely a bit of like a little vibe going on between us. So what gets tricky is I was also seeing Josh at the time, but I had this best friend that like we obviously had feelings for each other, and there's all this like this gray area when that's going on that I feel like isn't talked about enough. Like when you are queer and you're not out, and like there's all this like gray area for like you have a boyfriend, but you have your best friend. It's like you don't really know. It's really a very tumultuous time. So Josh, I was still really interested in. I thought he was really cute. He was my boyfriend. And we kissed. We were at this like party that a friend of ours had thrown, like an 8th grade party. What the hell was even going on there? People were like playing pool and like drinking soda. Should I say? I mean, I don't want to say people's real names.
Was I there?
Yes.
Okay.
It was at someone who was really rich. That's all I remember. It was a massive
It's always at the
house.
rich kids party.
I remember.
And so we were at this party. It was in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I knew, you know, when you're in 8th grade and like you know that someone's gonna kiss you and like you kind of like talk about it for a few weeks before and it's like, are we gonna kiss?
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was kind of chatter of that. Me and him, we would text, whatever. And then we were out on this deck and it started snowing and he kissed me. It was really
Damn.
sweet.
High School Musical.
I actually loved it. I thought it was so cute. And to this day, I'm like, shout out. That was great. That was fun.
Cute kiss.
It was cute. It was very innocent. Just a couple lip locks. That's it. But I remember my best friend at the time was furious.
And we still don't know to this day if she was furious about the boy or you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
that's
know it was
true,
about me
but
because
we know.
she randomly was obsessed with him too. And she's like, wait, I have a crush on him too.
Weird.
When I had I don't remember who was first.
No,
who had a crush.
I remember the first time I ever met both of you. We were playing night games at a friend's house, and like my friend group, and like I knew Kenna, and then met you for the first time. And I remembered seeing our friend and you, and thinking, oh my gosh, they like Crystal likes this girl like I like the girl I liked at the time. Like I was like, oh my gosh,
You knew.
this is
Yeah, the
I
gays
knew.
sniffed each
I
other
knew.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
So
gays knew. It was an intuition.
it was an intuition. Katie knew.
Meanwhile,
And
I'm so oblivious to what's going on. I don't even know what being
Yes.
gay means.
Hannah's like, do you hate?
Yeah. So this girl that we were best friends, she was furious. Like I remember telling her that me and him kissed, and she was so mad about it. And she was like,
tricky.
and she was saying like, I like him. And I was like, I know you don't like him though.
Yeah.
Like we're best friends, and I know you don't like him. I know this is about me and you, but like I couldn't say that.
You
know?
should have just kissed her.
I know, right? Should have just leaned in. Honestly, that is
leaned in.
a big regret of mine in high school is that I didn't just lean the fuck
Like,
in.
who cares if shit hits the fan?
Yeah,
But at that
truthfully.
time, it was
But
like,
it's scary. There's a lot to lose.
And-
You've got
Yeah.
one simulation to live.
Yes. Okay, fast
Fuck it
forward.
up.
Fast forward. That was my first kiss. It was cute. It was fine. Okay, so my first kiss with a girl was when I was 19. And it was my first girlfriend. So it's actually pretty wholesome because we ended up dating on and off for like 2.5 years. And we met through friends, and she goes by she, they now. So they were living in Arizona, and they would come and visit. And we met through friends, and then we kind of hit it off, and they were one of the first people I told that I was gay. And I don't know why, but I just felt comfortable around them. And I was just like, yeah, all right, I feel like I can tell you this. Right. So I told them, and then immediately it went into like Romanceville.
Mm-hmm.
And we formed this like really intense connection over the phone for like 2 months.
I was on a road trip with you.
You're on a road trip, and I was like, La La Land.
Yeah, I remember going
Because-
into your room at night and you were always FaceTiming her. You guys like built your relationship over FaceTime.
Yeah, we really did, which is crazy. It's like
Long
the
distance.
gayest thing you could ever do, is build your relationship over FaceTime. And then she came to town for the summer, and we kissed for the first time. And I remember being like, oh my God, like I'm kissing a girl. Like, whoa.
Game
so
changer.
crazy. That was like electric. And to me, I remember we like snuck away, and we like made out like hard.
woo.
And
sexy.
I remember being like, it was such a stark difference from any of the times I had kissed men. Like, so stark. Like, the most eye-opening sexual experience I had ever had at that point. And I think that to me, everything clicked in my head. Like, I remember when I was younger, and one of my best friends, his name's Jackson. Love you, Jackson. One of my best friends when I was in like high school and junior high. And I remember him telling me that he had made out with this girl for like 2 hours. He was like, yeah, we like made out for like hours.
Such a junior high
And I
thing.
remember being like, how? I don't know how I would make out with someone for that long.
Ooh, making out hits different too.
Oh, I love it.
but
Just making out.
But the
Love it.
reason
Just
why,
myself.
the
Doesn't
reason
have to go
why I didn't understand that is because I was only making out with men at the time. So I was like, I don't know how I would kiss someone for that long. Like, I don't, like, are you not bored?
Yeah.
Like, I could not compute. I was like, that is not, I don't know how you did that. And then when I kissed her, I was like, okay, I compute.
Yeah.
Like, it all computed in my head. Like, all these experiences, it's like, oh, my whole life flashed before my eyes. And I was like, I am so gay. Like, I'm so into women. This is the missing link. This is the problem. Like, I just need to kiss women for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was great. It was fireworks, flame emoji. And I loved it.
Flame emoji.
No.
Flame emoji. And I loved it. And then we dated on and off for like 2.5 years. And yeah. That was my first kiss with a girl.
Incredible.
We love that.
Sexy.
Sexy.
All right, Kenny. First kiss.
So I was a late bloomer.
You were.
I was so shy around the thought of kissing or dating or like even crushes. Like, I had so many crushes, but I just was mortified to even talk about them. Like all throughout elementary,
Yeah.
all throughout
You
junior
were
high,
always
I
like
was
that, yeah.
mortified. I was so shy. Honestly, purity culture.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out purity culture. Bye.
But my first kiss, it kind of got to the point. I was literally a senior in high school and I was like, okay, I need to kiss someone. Like, this is going to get weird. Like,
and the thing is, though, like, so many boys liked Kenna. So many boys wanted to kiss Kenna. Kenna was literally just so uninterested. She was like, you guys are all freaks.
we were like,
maybe Ken's gay.
Yeah, everyone thought I was. My mom asked me multiple times. Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
Kenna was just like, what? Like, all of these, because honestly, actually the most shade. Some of the boys we went to high school with, and I mean high school boys in general, I'm sorry, you guys are so ridiculous. Like, you guys are idiots. We love you, but you're idiots.
Yeah.
And Kenna was like, you're all idiots.
I just cared about school a lot. It was almost like that sexual part of me was just like dormant. It just like had to be awoken.
Which is actually pretty normal.
Yeah.
I
think
had a lot of friends who just like weren't really sexually interested until a little bit later.
Yeah. Like, I never even thought, it's not that I thought about like masturbating, for instance, and it was like, I can't do that. It was like, it just never was even a thought. That part of me was just like asleep until
asleep at the wheel.
I started to get to the point where I was like, hey, I can't be that person that like doesn't kiss anyone until I'm like 25. Like, I really don't want that to be my story. So
you didn't want that to be your narrative.
I was senior year of high school and I just was like, let's go, like, let's just do this. Let's get it over with. There was this boy that I had a crush on since like junior high, and we had kind of had a crush on each other, and it was this back and forth thing. He had actually already graduated high school and was going to go on a mission, which all of the like tense, like the tension of the religious.
Yeah, if you don't know what a mission is, in LDS culture, people go on a thing called a mission, which is they basically just dip for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
when they're like 19 to 21.
Yeah, and it's an intense and like you can't talk to them. It's like really like they just go off. So I feel like it breeds a lot of like intense emotions and passion.
And like I got to get this all done now.
They're literally dipping for 2 years. So he was about to leave on his mission and I was just like, let's just get this, like, let's just do this. Like, I want to
Let's get this show on the road, baby.
Baby. And it was literally 2 nights before he was going to leave on his mission. Like,
I didn't know
right before. And we had been hanging out a ton and, like, vibing for a while. And he was really shy, too. Like, it's kind of crazy we hadn't kissed yet.
Yeah.
We were on his tramp, like in his parents' backyard.
Trampoline.
Like under a full moon, just being silly. And it was honestly the same of like, we knew what was supposed to happen, but we're both so shy and just kind of kept being like, what are you thinking? And being so, what are you thinking? It's so cringy thinking about it now.
What are you thinking? Oh my God, that's cute though.
That's sweet.
You're both shy.
And I remember like my phone blowing up, like it was getting so late, and I had a curfew, and I was gonna get in trouble, and my phone was just like blowing up, and I was like, usually like Kenny Ree would be like, I'm home at curfew going to bed. Like I was a good girl. Like I was a wholesome girlie.
Nope,
but I was like,
you were wild.
No, like throw phone into the dust. I'm not leaving until I get my first kiss.
Yes.
There you go.
And finally, after like literally probably hours of saying, what are you thinking to each other? He finally like went over me and like leaned down and kissed me, and it was horrid.
Oh
like,
no.
I'm pretty sure he missed. Like I'm pretty sure he kissed like my ears.
Your ear?
Like
he missed that bad?
I was like, it was weird. I can't really remember if it was like
not facing him?
No, I was laying down and he was above me.
How did he kiss your ear?
It was like, I don't know if it was exactly
The
my
ear. Like the side of the head.
I just know it was like it was weird. Like I think
of course,
I think he
so awkward.
I'm sure there was some lip connection, but there was just a lot going on.
Wait.
Yeah, whoa.
So you mean you're wait. You think there was some lip connection at some point?
Yes.
know?
Okay. It was almost like he touched my lips and then just like kept going, maybe.
On your cheek?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe on my cheek, maybe, I don't know. It was
He
weird,
made out with your cheek?
It just wasn't even a make out. It was one kiss and it wasn't a good one.
But it covered a lot of ground. Did he have a big mouth? Big lips?
Yeah, it could have been that. I don't know. But even after, like right after, I remember him being like, that was so bad. Like and we were both just like, whoa, but it was like sweet, but it was a terrible kiss.
You'll take anything at that age.
But I was like,
at that age, you'll take anything.
We did it the next day though, made up because it was the night before he was gonna leave, and we scuttled on off on a hike in the mountains and like made out, and it was great.
You got the nervousness out of the way,
exactly.
and you were like, okay, we now know that at least we both want to do this. So let's just do it.
Yeah. Okay, so the next night made up for it, but the first one was a little weird.
That's
for sure.
so funny.
That is so funny. Oh my God. I'm having flashbacks to like kissing boys in high school and like how aggressive they were with the tongue and just being like, whoa.
Like, what is
like,
happening?
whoa. Chill.
I've only really kissed one boy, and it was pretty shocking.
Yeah. Pretty shocking.
It's always a little scary.
All right. We're moving on. We're moving on from first kisses and we're going into worst dates. Have you guys had any bad dates?
Oh, I've had a shocking.
Katie just had a recent.
I think Katie's got to kick it off because Katie's currently single and she's going on dates and some of them are bad. So let's hear it.
Oh, I've had.
Katie, I think you need to share the one
I've had some rickety Ann
that
Sallies,
is insane.
Yeah, I'll share my most recent terrible date.
To give a little bit of background, so Katie's been dating, right? And Katie, honestly, like, she's been going on like a lot of dates, and obviously I'm in a relationship, so she'll just come home and like report to me and my girlfriend and like give us the
it's
tea.
Like coming home to
and
the parents.
honestly, most of the time, Katie's like a very social, easygoing person, so I feel like she can kind of make the best out of a lot of probably really weird situations.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like she can like kind of like get into a groove and like be fine. I think for me, I'd probably be coming home with a lot more like that was so weird stories, but Katie's like, it's fine. Yeah. So typically, or she's just really lucky because she usually comes home and she's like, I'm like, how was the date? And she's like, it was great. Like it was fun. Not like no big deal. Like honestly, not much to report. And I'm not gonna lie, like at a point, like I was kind of like hoping she would have a bad date. Because I just wanted a story. Like I was just like, Katie, how are you having so many amazing dates? And like finally, like I'll text her on her dates sometimes too, just to check in on her, be like, how's it going? Yeah. And usually an hour later, it's like, great. And then I see her later in the night, right? This one, she actually was like, I'm so terrified.
Crystal texted me and I responded, SOS.
SOS. And I was like, I literally turned to my girlfriend, and this is not to be mean. I was like, yes, Katie has a bad date. Oh, so like, I don't want you to go on a bad date, but I love a story.
Yeah. Oh, we love a story.
I just love a story. I was like, finally, some tea. Like, what happened? All right, take it away.
And it was the kind of date where I could kind of be like, you know what? This is kind of entertaining, so I'm just gonna.
I love when you realize you're in the middle of a story.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, this is a story. This is insane.
I was already telling the story on the date.
I always realize that and immediately think about how I'm gonna tell you guys.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep, you envision telling the girls.
Yes.
What you gotta know is that if you do anything weird in front of any of us, we will all know.
We know.
Yeah.
We're cutthroat bitches.
Cutthroat, bruh.
Even if it's not that weird,
even if it's not that weird, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Okay, your turn.
Okay,
take it away.
So I matched with this girl on Hinge. She's like, seemed cute. Hinge is a little scary. It's a little bit of a wild card. You're just seeing pictures of someone, and you can only tell how much you get along.
Yeah.
It's so short.
The apps are dangerous. We all hate the apps. Come on, we hate them.
They're hard because you really can't get someone's vibe unless you meet them.
Exactly.
You really can't.
And I would way rather prefer to meet someone in person, but apps are good to, get things rolling. So
yes.
I matched with this girl. She, on her profile, she doesn't drink. I was like, hey, great. Let's go get Jenny's ice cream. I'm a fiend for Jenny's ice cream.
Love Jenny.
I live right around the corner. I was like, let's go get ice cream. She was like, I love Jenny's. That would be great. Whatever. 15 minutes before the date, she says, oh, actually, have you heard of this really scary diner around the corner from her house? Says the name of this diner that I was like, I don't think I've been there. And I was like, no, I haven't. She's like, oh, it'd be like they have, like fun pies or whatever. Like, let's go there. It might be fun. And then I realized I had been there at like 3 a.m. one time and realized that's probably the only time you ever want to go to a place like that. Yep. But anyways, I already a little scared. I'm down. Whatever. So Katie's
like, it's going to be a story.
She lives right next to it. So I walked over. We met on the corner. It was kind of one of those dates where, you know, when you first see someone in person and you kind of initially all of a sudden are like, oh, I don't know.
That's the worst.
So we get the gut feeling already. I'm like, we'll see. So
yeah, you're like,
yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. So we start walking and talking already. It's kind of like, I know I'm going to have to hold the conversation. Like if there's going to be space filled, it will be primarily by me.
Nothing worse.
Nothing worse.
Okay, this is something, no hate to people that are a little more introverted and they maybe aren't as good at conversation.
Right.
Why are you going on a date
Yeah.
to not even try
And also
to talk to someone you're on a date with?
Yeah, you gotta try.
That is so strange to me. Like when friends come back and they're like, they didn't even talk to me. They didn't ask anything about me. I'm like, what are you on a date for?
Maybe they have crippling social anxiety.
but
also,
not even to try to be like, you're on a date with someone and try to be like, where are you from?
It's
what
not
are
hard to
you
ask
like? Like,
questions.
it's not hard to just, when in doubt, just ask people about themselves.
Right,
like,
true.
That's it.
When in doubt, just ask anything.
Ask questions.
Just don't be silent.
Yeah, you don't have to come up with like crazy topics to talk about. You just need to be like, I want to know about you.
Where are you
Tell me
from?
about
What
you.
do you do?
Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Cats or dogs?
right. Exactly. Literally, cats or dogs. So we're walking to said diner. It's a really cute, fun, busy street. So lots of people. It's not like we're walking in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of scary and it's not like that. So that's
Right.
good. So we get to the diner and she asks to sit outside. And the waitress kind of is like starts to stutter and is like, outside? Like you want to sit outside. Outside, guys, is like it's there, but it's not an option really. Like the waitress was like I don't even remember the last time I sat someone outside.
Wow, this girl's a wild card.
Like,
Yeah,
the lights like
wild.
surrounding the back patio are like kind of broken and filled with cobwebs. It's right along the street already. I'm
Such a
scared.
vibe.
What a vibe. Maybe she's
Already.
like God.
You know what this reminds me of?
That's sick.
You know on like Saturday Night Live, you know that like really famous skit with Bill Hader where he's like, come to this club. Da, 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 and he names off the most insane things you can think of. It's like that. That's the setting for this date. It's like, that is absolute, that's a horror movie set.
Yeah.
And you're so sweet for going along with it. I feel like if I was on that date, I'd be like, let's sit inside. This is pretty whack. Like, let's level. But you just went with this shit.
No, because like I think it was because she already wasn't that talkative, but then was making a decision, and I was
Well,
do you know
yeah,
like,
so
when
it's
someone-
throwing you off. It's throwing you off. Yeah.
Kinda like, so you don't talk, but you care about
But
something.
you're decisive.
Whoa,
That's
silent but decisive. I
scary.
would be thrown by that too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be
That's
like,
I was
what?
thrown. Like the first 10 minutes, all of a sudden I'm thrown. So,
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect.
and I want you to think like a terrible color palette of a restaurant. You know, like this weird cream and light blue and like scary.
This is giving me a panic
metal-
attack on site.
Metal tables with fading.
If I was
lights.
in there, I'd be having a panic attack.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you would never want to eat something in this environment.
Oh,
So
eating on top of it.
the waitress, as I said before, is so shocked that she has officially sat someone outside and actually forgets that there's anyone sitting outside.
Oh, no.
Because she's never sat anyone outside.
Wow.
So we're sitting outside. And they're famous for pies. So she was like, you know, like they're so bad, but that's what makes them good kind of vibe. And I was like, cool.
No.
We order
No.
a pie, right? Like I eventually comes out and I like take a bite of the pie and realize that she is not actually going to be eating the pie.
What?
It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there.
Flies are buzzing at
Ice
a
cream's
point.
melting.
doesn't
the
take
whole- like-
one bite.
There's people walking by and like a woman yelled if she could have the pie. Like I was like, yeah, you can. It's getting crazy.
There's a woman asking for the pie.
Like, at the
there's
bar,
flashing lights. There's cobwebs.
What the hell? She
I'm
didn't
in-
have one bite.
No.
That's really.
And so I was like, oh,
So strange.
Oh, we're not eating the pie.
So then
The
you're like,
pie is for
hey.
show.
The pie is for jokes, I guess.
Okay.
Whoa.
Interesting.
So because she's not going to, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not going. I didn't know what to do. I was like, it's not like I don't know. This place scares me. I'm already outside. Like I don't need to do this. But like, why did we just do that? Like,
was the pie good?
I mean, it was like, I don't know.
Just your classic diner
Just
pie.
a
Did you
diner
like your
pie.
pie?
Yeah, I kind of did.
Should have ate your pie.
Well, then I think I had one bite and realized she wouldn't be even opening the silverware. So I already felt weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Was she just staring at you? Like, was there no conversation
So we're
happening at this
talking.
time?
No, we're like talking. I'm kind of getting to know her. I come to find out she's in an open relationship, which I wasn't really aware of.
Which let's
That's
talk
a
about that.
wild
I think
card.
honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's wild to not like make that clear pretty much out the gate. I think it's tricky to be on an app and not be transparent about that.
You have to be
Wait, I
transparent.
thought she had kind of told you
she-
in a weird
I
position.
think that's what it was. I think I knew she was in an open relationship, but I didn't know she lived with her partner.
Okay.
And you were picking her up from that place.
Right.
It's like just a little bit like, again, you got to be clear.
Right.
You got to
Gotta be
be
clear.
super clear.
And I think on her Hinge profile even was like also looking for friends. Like I think I came into it with the idea of like, even if it doesn't go well, like I just moved, I'm down to make friends.
Yeah.
However this goes.
Yep.
It was chill.
It was
Okay,
chill.
Good.
Yeah.
Then we're
Yeah.
good. It was chill.
It was
Okay.
chill. It was more so uncovering shocking details whilst pie is melting with someone.
It was
the dirty
getting
fact-
progressively
yeah,
shocking.
shocking.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
right.
we were talking about like having a sweet tooth
Mm-hmm.
as pie is melting.
Okay.
And I remembered saying like, oh yeah, like I love ice cream. Like my mom always had ice cream in the house. Like I loved it, whatever. And she said something to me like, okay, you're right, kind of thing. Like kind of like made me feel like I was talking too much about like I believe you, like I get it.
Whoa.
That is insane.
About the ice cream.
You're
And I
just being
remember-
like, I love sweets. I really like ice cream. I had a lot growing up. She's like, I get it.
Yeah, she literally
It's
was like,
like, okay,
okay,
relax.
I get it. No, literally, and I remember going, and I started laughing because I was like, okay, this is over. I can't.
You're like,
I've been
this is
trying
whack.
to
Yeah.
like get through this, and
Like
now
you
it's over.
actually were just a dick to me about the fact that I liked ice cream.
Confusing.
Like what? She's a wild card.
Yeah, I
she's
know.
absolutely.
She's-
I think she's
she's
like on a
wild.
different plane than the rest of us because her responses are not like matching normal human
No.
behavior.
And it was
Yeah.
so weird because
Whoa.
like she would like talk about something, and I was like, oh okay, like yeah, normal maybe, and then that, and I was like, all right, it's done, over.
Yeah.
Like
You're like, I've
and
had
I,
it.
And I said, I was like, okay, I think we should head out. Like we're
Good
not,
job.
obviously not
Good
eating
for
Yeah,
you.
head out,
Yeah.
baby.
Head out, babe.
Like
Tuck
I
and roll.
said, waitress
Tuck and
forgot we
roll.
were even out there, so we like went inside. I paid for it, and then
You
we-
paid for it.
I'm
It's
pretty
also
sure I was like, yeah, let's go. Like I'll get it, whatever. It was like $4.
yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't matter at that
We
point.
walk. We start walking back, and like I said, it's like a really cute, busy street. She says, "Actually, can we go like this way instead?" Like
The
it's like a
weird
one shot to her
preferences.
place, like on a busy.
Which
really cute
this was
street.
the only part that I was like, okay, that makes me feel really weird.
This is
because
actually what
if
made
you're
me
trying
kind
to
of
take
uncomfortable.
someone off of a busy street, like, no.
No,
That's-
on a first date.
that
It was
doesn't feel
dark.
safe.
It was dark. Like it wasn't that late because
Yeah.
we literally cut the date real short. It was like probably
Yeah.
8:30.
This just sounds like to me that she is probably new to being in an open relationship. She feels kind of weird about it.
Yep.
She's obviously being really awkward because she's probably this. It could have been potentially maybe one of her
Maybe.
very first dates with someone else. She's probably feeling really weird.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't been on. If she's already to the point where she's opening her relationship, for all we know, they might have been together for 5 years. She's trying this. It's feeling weird. She's also is like actively not letting you walk down busy streets where she could probably potentially run into people that know her.
That's
it could
what
be.
it-
It could be a secret.
That
It
was the
seemed like
first.
that.
Yeah.
That was the first thing
No.
I thought of when she said, "Actually, can we go this way?" The first thing I felt was she doesn't want someone to see her.
She also asked you to sit on the back patio where no one is. It's obvious she doesn't want to be seen.
Right.
It means that
Yeah.
this is private,
Right.
which is kind of
Yeah.
like, how are you going to go on public dates in an open relationship if you don't want anyone to know you're in an open
100%.
relationship and don't
Yeah.
want anyone to see you on what looks like a date? She's got some things to sort out.
100%.
Yeah,
Maybe
this
she's a
is-
great girl.
that
Sounds like you caught her at
was-
the wrong time.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was
she has
like,
shit to work out.
That
Yeah,
was
that's-
like, interesting. Okay. And I wasn't scared of. She didn't make me feel like unsafe.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's
but
good.
it just made me feel like you don't want someone to see you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
obvious. So we like walk around the back neighborhoods, get to her apartment, and I was just like, okay, that was fun. I'm gonna head back. And I remember she looked at me like, what? Like,
She was shocked.
that I wasn't
She
that I
was-
wasn't going to be coming inside.
And this is
Like,
this is where I'm like,
shock.
People.
Like I like went in to give her a
My
hug,
love.
and she was so shocked that I wasn't coming inside that she like gave literally like I go in for a hug. She like turns her head and like gives me a side head, and we literally like hit sides. of head.
not the
Oh
bonk.
my
A
god.
Not the bonk.
A bonk to say goodbye.
oh.
And like she was like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Yeah, like really nice to meet you. I'm gonna head back. Thanks for
Yeah.
nothing, I guess, because we didn't even have anything."
The fact that you were the fact that this girl was shocked.
shocked.
The
She was
lack
like,
of awareness.
it was going so well.
I don't understand when people
She-
can't understand.
And in my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, "You thought this went well?"
Yeah.
Like,
She's in a different
Different
thing
plane.
in her head.
Dimension.
Like
Different
she's
plane.
obviously got something on her mind,
Yeah.
and she's not very present to the
Present.
situation.
Yeah.
She obviously was on like fucking what's it called? Like she was on like overdrive mode, just
Yep.
thinking like, how do I not get seen? This is so crazy. Her adrenaline was probably through the roof that entire
Probably.
day
Yeah.
because she sounds like she's not thinking about anything other than, holy shit, I'm on a date with someone that's not my partner.
100%.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And then,
And then Katie texts me and she's like, I'm sprinting home.
I
Yeah.
literally turned, started speed walking away, and then I just like honestly laughed and walked the whole way home. I was like, that was
Insane.
And I was like voice memoing
Wow.
our GM and was like, you guys, like,
Yeah.
I just, my jaws dropped. I don't even know what just happened.
Oh
you
my
gotta
God.
have one of those.
You
It
got
was classic. It was iconic.
Oh my
Honestly, a very
gosh.
classic, terrible date.
And we're going to end this episode in the most dirty deed fashion.
Let it say it fashion, baby.
And
What
we're
is
going to
it?
end on worst sex stories.
Worst sex stories.
Man,
This is juicy.
this is a juicy little one. Does anyone want to kick it off?
Juicy.
Let me think.
I know Katie can definitely kick it off.
Yeah, Katie, you should kick it off.
Should we just have you kick it off?
Okay, I will. This is one of the most embarrassing, scariest things to ever happen in my life.
Wow.
This story is absolutely hilarious.
This is so funny.
This is something I never wanted anyone to know about.
And now you're broadcasting.
Unfortunately,
broadcasting it to the world.
it was shared publicly, and now it's being broadcast to the whole world.
I love it.
So
yeah.
And might we add that she shared it?
she shared it.
Oh, really?
She shared
You
this
think
story.
I shared this story?
Whoa, how did you find out that she shared it?
She told
We
us
were
right in
with-
front of
we were with
Katie. She was
everyone.
here.
We were
She
hanging.
was like, this
She
happened
told
last
me.
night.
Yeah, she told
I
me.
know what this is.
Yeah.
We were all hanging out, and she said, "Hey guys, want to hear about what happened last night?"
She's that type, which is so
Yeah.
funny.
It's actually really fun. I kind of like it because I would never do that, and so
Yeah.
depending on the level of it, it's funny for me
Yeah.
because it just embarrasses the shit out of me, but I think it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Case spill the tea.
Okay. Okay, so so
Take it away.
Take it away.
oh, I'm so bad at like talking like you I just like can't get this stuff
You
out.
got this.
You got
Okay,
this,
so I
girl.
got So we you know, we're getting intimate.
We're getting intimate.
Again, sexy.
We're getting sexy. It's not the first time I'm comfortable with this
We're comfy.
person. Yeah, it wasn't like
Okay.
a first time. And you know, we're pretty comfy by this point. And you know, as you know, I feel like especially in the lesbian world, like you know, get to a point where you're gonna use stuff.
Use toys.
course.
A lot
Yeah.
of people do, but
Any world, really.
any world.
Yeah.
So we're getting to that point where
Yes.
we're, you know, whatever. We're using a vibrator that I had not yet experienced. I was also a baby gay at this point.
Yep.
okay? Like I had got out of a big relationship. It was my first time, you know, going on dates with multiple people, and like I just had only really been with one person.
Yeah.
So I think I was really shy in this world because I was like, I've only been with one person. I only know what they like. I know what
Yeah.
I like with one person, but I don't know how to do this, whatever. So I'm getting more comfortable in that. We're using something I've never used before. It's a very small vibrator that like can wrap around your finger.
Okay.
Okay.
You seen
Yeah.
those?
I have
Finger
one
I
of
actually
those.
haven't, but
Yeah.
those sound kind of sick.
I have
They're
one of
small.
those.
Like you slip it on basically like a ring. Like it has like a little ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I need one of those.
Go crazy.
I don't know if I could ever get one again, but
You're traumatized.
Traumatized.
So, yeah, she pulled out this thing. I never used anything like it before, but I'm doing my thing,
Right.
and it's going fine. It's going well, actually, great. And suddenly, said object is no longer on my finger.
Where'd it go?
Where did it go, Katie?
And it was lost somewhere that nothing should get lost.
Yep.
And
And you stopped. You said you stopped and you're like,
So I'm freaking out.
you're like,
because-
wait, we have to stop.
No. I said in a panic, I said it came off my finger. She didn't seem to understand what I was saying.
She's like, oh yeah, it came off your finger.
It's like, tell me more.
Say it again.
and like,
You're like, no, it came off my
no, I was
finger.
like, no, it came off my finger. She like finally like realizes what I'm saying, freaks. I mean, obviously panics.
Panicked.
At first, I was kind of thinking, is that okay?
Wait, she
Is that
said, in the
normal?
words of her,
Is that,
she
like-
said this stuff. She said, I looked down and like my belly button is vibrating. Like,
Yep.
I'm like,
The internal organs are vibrating.
oh my God.
To jump off a building. So she realizes and gets, honestly, in a fight or flight, gets it out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Like, kind of like, and I was like,
I
but, like,
did.
Not in like a mean way. Like, she
Yeah.
wasn't being mean to me or anything. She was just like, and I was like, I did. I tried to tell you. I'm like, I'm like freaking out.
Yeah, that
I
is-
did. I did. I'm so sorry. Like, I tried to tell you. She was like, whoa, like,
And I think it's
scary.
also
That is scary.
fair to say. I think another reason why she was triple as scared is because this girl works in the medical field.
She does.
So she sees a lot of
She's
crazy
seen
things
stuff like
that
this.
come in
Yeah.
to the hospital. So
Yeah.
in her head, she's like, whoa, like all those people coming into the hospital are like
Yeah.
flashing through her head.
Oh, she went.
And
Sex
she's like,
toys gone wrong
full
is not
fight or flight.
uncommon.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually very common.
Full fight or
According to her,
flight.
she's like, very common. People come in to the hospital all the time.
They're like, yeah, this toy just got up my asshole on
And
the
I don't know
floor."
how.
I don't know how. I tripped in this
I
whole
fell.
fucking can of beans is in my ass now. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's a good story.
It was really crazy. I'm honestly like, she made light of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, she told
That's
everybody
fished
about
it out.
That's nice.
which is kind of like, I kind of wanted to, like, when she told everyone initially, I wanted to jump off a building.
Oh,
But I
That
kind
is
of,
so
I do
funny.
love that she was able to make light of it and kind of just embarrass me and like think it was funny.
It
I actually thought it
happens.
was hilarious.
It happens.
it
Yeah.
happens,
The best.
baby.
Yeah,
Happens.
I'm like sweating telling the story. I'm actually
That's-
like beads.
Honestly, I'm proud of
Beads
you.
of sweat.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Down.
It's a hilarious story. It happens.
Thanks.
That's not your fault. It's super small. You got
It
it out.
is.
We all live to tell.
You got it out.
to hear the tale.
Okay, I have one.
Go.
I actually have had
yeah.
like pretty good sex for the most part in my life because I've also had a lot of sex with like partners. I've been a relationship girl
You have.
for a lot of my adult life, so I feel like I've like, you know, been with someone I know and trust and whatever. So me and this girl, we didn't like have sex, but I will tell you this story. Me and this girl, we were kind of friends. There was kind of a little bit of flirty-ba between us.
Flirty-ba.
She kind of hit on me. I was seeing someone else at the time. I was like, no. Then we kind of were friends, but there was still kind of a flirty air. And then I was like, wait, actually, I'm kind of down. So her and I go on a date, and it was fine. It was great. And we head back to her place, and we're just chilling. We hadn't even so much as kissed at this point. And I'm sitting there like, why haven't we kissed? Like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm not going to force anything. She's not really giving me signals. She was pretty standoffish. And I shouldn't say this part.
Go for it.
Do it.
I was going to
Do
say
it.
it. So this girl, oh, bless her. There's this thing on her coffee table. And it's like a question, like a yes, no, like 8-ball kind of spinner thing.
You know what? Every girl's got the question game.
Yes.
Of some
I love
And
it.
I make some comment about that. I'm like, LOL, that's so funny.
It's like the what? It's like my first kiss. Like, what are you thinking? It's
Yes.
like a good
So it's like
soft
on her,
launch.
it's on this coffee table.
yeah.
It's kind of like this like wooden thing, like this wooden spinner thing. And I'm like, oh, LOL, like true, like what would you use that for? To be like a truth or dare or something? I don't know. I said something like that, and she was like, let's play. And I was like, no. I was like, I am too fucking old for this.
You
I
hate
can't be playing
games.
truth or dare.
You hate games more than
and you
anyone
hate
I know.
games.
And I hate games, but I love a little truth or dare. But I'm just like, I'm 25 at this point. I'm like, I can't be playing truth or dare.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I look at her, we make eye contact. I'm like, she wants to make out. There's
And she
obviously-
wants to use truth or dare as the thing, which is
I'm like, just lean in, just lean in. I'm too old
It's
for
so
this.
obvious what the motive behind the truth
And so
or
I
dare
laugh.
is.
I laugh, and I'm
IRL.
like, we don't have to play truth or dare. And she's like, no, like I want to play truth or dare.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. So we start playing truth or dare, whatever. It starts soft and slow, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be the one. Like, I'm feeling crazy. I'm just not gonna be the one to do this. Like, if you want to kiss me, I was like, you have to do it. You're gonna have to ask to kiss me. So finally, of course, she's like, I dare you to kiss me. And I'm like, finally. So I like scoot in closer. We start making out, and very quickly, it progresses, and it starts getting more intimate. Starts getting hotter, and I'm wearing like thick dickies. Okay. And I was wearing like these thick dickies, and they were kind of oversized. And there's like, and I'm wearing like boxers too, kind of like a saggy kind of look.
Yeah.
And she gets on top of me and starts like going for it, kind of vibes, going in,
feeling around.
She starts feeling around, and she goes to me like 2 minutes into the makeout. She like reaches down, she's feeling around over my jeans and my boxers. And she whispers in my ear, "You're so wet."
Oh.
What? I was like, what? And I was like, you're hot, but what is happening right now?
Holy shit. It's like, how would you know?
And
you should have been like,
literally-
how would you know?
No, literally. And I'm like thinking to myself, I was like,
What did you say back?
I don't think I said anything.
that's one
I
of those
think,
things you just let it
I
slide.
think I literally just kind of like grabbed her face and was like,
That's
let's
like,
kiss.
That's
Like,
like
stop.
a level 2 ick of like, okay, we can.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they say something just to say something hot, but they don't
Yeah.
actually
But I was like,
mean it.
you're so wet over the dickies and the boxers. Like, and also like, not to be rude, but like, I wasn't very wet. Like, I was just like, we had just started making out. So I was like, what? We actually ended up like having a sleepover.
No.
Which is so
This is the
crazy.
craziest part of the
That's the
whole
craziest
thing.
part because
Yeah.
she wanted me to stay. And I think back in those, I think now, like, I've had to do a lot of like learning and growing and like advocating for myself. I think I used to just kind of go with whatever any partner or person that I was hooking up with like wanted, like as far as like boundaries of like sleeping over and stuff like that. Like I would kind of just be like, if someone would ask me to, I wouldn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was like actively so uncomfortable. It's just like maybe I would have preferred maybe not to. And I think back, if I was doing that now, I would have immediately been like, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I can't believe you
But
suffered through an awkward sleepover.
She was like, I really want you to sleep over. And I
No,
was like,
I could not.
okay. And I was kind of drunk. So I was like, okay. And we like slept over. And then we woke up in the morning. We literally like made breakfast and like watched a show and didn't even touch.
No.
And then she like gave me a side hug.
Oh no.
And I was absolutely like, I told this whole story to Elisa when I came home. And as I told it, I was like, I don't think I realized how fucking weird that was until I like actually told it back to Elisa. And then I was like, that was fucking weird.
Bit erratic of a night.
So yeah, no hate to her. She's a sweet person, but that was probably the weirdest, most strange,
Roller coaster
chaotic
ride.
hookup I've ever had.
That's wild.
It was
Dude, that
crazy.
happened.
What about you, Al or Ken? Do you guys have one?
you guys-
I have a similar chaotic hookup that just came to mind. And basically I went on a date with this girl to a bar that was like down the street from my house. And then we walked back to my house. And it was kind of like similar vibes in the sense that it was just like really clunky. Like stop, go, stop, go, stop, go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
And
good.
it was one of those things too where like as we started making out more, she would just say left of center shit. Like random shit that like wasn't
Like what?
just random shit that was kind
When
of like
did this happen?
Yo,
this happened like earlier this year.
Okay,
Like before I
okay.
met my current girlfriend.
Okay.
And we would like start making out and things would start getting kind of heated. And then she would kind of like pull back and say something like really cringe. I don't remember what, but she would just say something cringe.
Like what type of cringe?
Like trying to be sexy
Oh.
cringe, but it was like weird.
Like you're
like
so
I have
wet
to know
cringe.
what. I have to know an
like,
example.
It was like shit like, you're a bad girl.
Oh.
Like
But
weird.
in that tone,
Yeah.
like in a crazy little
Like I couldn't tell if she was joking or not. Like I was like, whoa, this is weird. But I was like, whatever, we're hooking up. Like I guess this is her thing. So we
that would
like,
be her so that would kind of take me right out of it.
yeah, and like I like, I think it was honestly just like a product of not being very compatible because like
Right.
Yeah.
she would do stuff
right.
like that, and then I would be like, kind of like, what? Like kind of confused. And then she would get kind of embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, you should have another drink. And I was like, I don't want another drink.
You should have another drink?
Yeah, and I was like, no. Because she was just
No.
feeling weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I did not have any other drinks. But anyways, it was kind of like that kind of vibe throughout the night. And then we proceeded to like fully hook up. And then like pretty quickly, she was just like, all right, I have to get up really early because I have to move my car in the morning. It's at a meter. And she just gets into my sheets and goes to bed.
Oh, snuggles right
Didn't
on
ask
That's
me.
my worst
I
nightmare.
don't
Wait,
know her.
That
Like, I do not know this girl. Like we are not at sleepover.
genuinely not.
Whoa.
She
You have
like
to be invited.
abruptly is like, oh my God, I didn't realize how late it is. Like, we gotta get to sleep. Goes to bed. I was like,
Married?
what? Guys, when I tell you I sat in shock and was like, she fell asleep fast too. Like she got into bed within like 10 minutes, she was like fully like snoring. And I was like, huh. And I like literally like fully did my night routine, like washed my face, like cleaned my kitchen a little bit, like kept going back. I'm like, is this real? Like kept looking in my bedroom, like seeing this random girl asleep in my bed. And I was like, huh, how is this happening? Like,
whoa.
what just happened?
Wait, I
But
think
she
I
was
remember you
asleep,
telling me
so
this.
I was like, I don't want to wake her up and like kick her out. I was like, whatever. She's asleep. She didn't
tricky.
ask me if she could sleep over. This is kind of weird. But she's dead asleep.
Did you sleep next to her?
I had no choice.
Or
I have
did you
a
like, I
one-bedroom
thought maybe
apartment.
you sleep on the couch.
No.
No.
So
No, I'm gonna sleep in my own
Yeah, I'm gonna
bed.
sleep in my
Yeah.
bed.
I just don't think I'd be able to sleep.
Yeah, but
Next to, like, a
I had
stranger.
a king mattress, so I was
Okay,
like,
you
I
had a
can
little-
have some space. And so
I just don't want to
ended
wake up to you, someone I don't know.
Listen. So I proceed to like fully do my nighttime routine. I'm like kind of weirded out, actually really weirded out. And then I like get into bed, I fall asleep, and like an hour into being asleep, I'd assume, I get woken up because I get smacked.
You're kidding.
Yes! And I'm like, whoa. I'm
How
like,
have we
start of the
never
week,
heard
I get
this?
smacked. I look over, I look at her, and she's like, and she's like, oh. What? I could tell she woke up and got scared and like smacked me. And then she was like, oh yeah, I remember where I am. And I was like, what? Like I was like, whoa, are you good? And she's like, yeah, sorry. I got startled when I woke up. You know how like sometimes you forget like where you fell asleep or whatever. And I was like, and then
goes,
oh,
shit.
I remember. Yeah, and she like remembers whatever. And I was like, whoa, I was like, you smacked me, that scared me. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. He. Whatever. Like, is acting like this is like totally normal. I'm like, it's already weird you're sleeping over. It's weird you have night terrors and just smacked me awake.
Oh my God.
And so, anyways, at this point, it's like 4 a.m. So I'm just like, okay, like we're going back to bed, like whatever. And then like,
I am sweating right
back
now.
to
This is so insane.
yeah, and then like I wake up because her loud ass alarm goes off. Like 2 hours later, she's got to go move her car. So I'm like, okay, bye,
Go
bye,
home.
girl. I like get up and help her gather her things, and she leaves, and we never hung out again.
Oh, wow. That was a
That
journey.
is
That was a
crazy
That was
little
a
story.
journey.
I am racking my brain to remember who that was.
I'll tell you it was.
Yeah, you gotta tell
but
me after.
It was insane.
That's a rapid waggy of a story.
That is crazy.
I was like, huh.
I have a story.
All right, you finish us off, Ken.
I'm a relationship girly too, so I luckily don't have very many bad sex stories, but I feel like people don't talk about like having sex in front of your pets
yes.
enough. Like it's not like
No,
I
it's
remember when
so weird.
When we first got Nori, it took us like a full like 3 to 4 months to like feel comfy having sex in front of this dog, like watching us in the
No,
corner of the
we-
room.
You can't. You got to lock them out.
No, you gotta lock him out. You
It's
gotta lock him out.
deranged. But once,
Lock them out. It's like a baby.
once we were having sex, I'll own it. I'm a loud girly.
Own
I'm a
it.
girly.
Be loud.
Like,
Hell
be
yeah.
loud,
Honestly,
be proud.
people who aren't
Love a
expressive
vocal
during sex
girly.
scare me.
I'm
I'm
a
like, are
vocal-
you?
I love a vocal girl.
I'm a vocal girl.
Love a vocal
Be
girl.
loud, girl.
I'm a vocal girly. I think usually at nighttime it's not an issue. Like Nori knows, like, hey, mommy, daddy are doing their thing. I go to bed. Like, she knows to just like buzz off. But I think we were having sex in the middle of the day or like in the morning or something. And right at the moment of orgasm, the loudest moment of all, I'm like fully having like an incredible orgasm, and she like runs up next to me, like to my face on the bed, and starts like licking my face.
No.
Get out.
No.
Get out, Nori. What the hell?
Absolutely not.
Mid orgasm,
Hey,
and just
Ruined
like,
it. Ruined it.
Me and Cal are
Ruined.
just like trying to enjoy it, but also feeling like just start laughing.
I
and
would
it's just
burst
so
out
But like
crazy.
shoving the dog, getting
It feels
scared.
so wrong to me. Like
It's scary.
like Kara and I will be having sex, and like Birdie's not allowed. Like one time she got into the room when we were having sex and like fully was like trying to jump on the bed and like wagging the tail, and it was creeping me out.
They
I was
like
like,
it.
literally, I know that you're just a little animal and you don't understand, but you are grossing me out. Like you need to get out of here.
I think they do understand to a degree, though. I think they can like smell
And they
it
can
and like
smell the
know.
pheromone. Don't say
They know.
smell
Like,
it.
they're
They get
animals, though. They know.
Yeah, they can
Yes.
smell the pheromone.
No,
and they
what I'm
know.
saying is like they know, but it's like they
Yeah.
don't know they're doing anything wrong.
No, yeah,
like it's
they
just
don't have that like
instinct to
emotional or
them.
intellect like
Yeah.
around that.
And
They
sometimes,
just
like,
know
Bird-
what it is.
Like Kara and I always joke because sometimes Birdie will like start barking, like she thinks like I'm hurting Kara,
Oh, that's
my
nice.
and it's like no one's hurt,
No one's hurt.
no one's hurt.
It's all consensual.
It's all okay.
No.
Nori's
Yeah.
quiet. She never barks, but she that one time did surprise to like be mid orgasm and then just start feeling like licking on your face. It's like what's
no,
happening?
no,
What's
absolutely
happening?
not,
Whoa.
absolutely not.
So that's a silly one.
Well, there we go, guys.
you
I think
go.
we've covered so much ground
We
today.
covered a
That
lot
was
of
a
ground.
journey.
That was
A lot of
journey.
embarrassing ground, a lot of funny ground, a lot of
chaotic
ground.
Yeah.
You definitely got to know the aces better today.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
That's for sure.
So we love you guys. This has been Aces Space, and we'll be back next week with another episode on God knows what, whatever
Yeah,
we
who
feel like
knows?
talking
Whatever
about.
the hell we feel like.
Let us know what you think, y'all.
Yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever.
Yes.
Follow us on
Um,
Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram, the
Twitter.
Aces at the Aces, Twitter. All of the socials, you can find your girls, the Aces.
Yes.
We love you
TikTok.
guys. TikTok. Anything else, guys?
No, that's
love
really
you.
it. Tell us what you want us to gab about, and we will.
Yes,
Yeah.
please tell us what episodes you want, and we will definitely be making all of them.
Stay
Yes.
safe out there, y'all.
We
Stay
love ya.
safe. Have better
And-
sex than we're having, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
What's up, guys? It's Crystal. This is Aces Space, and if you liked the podcast, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram at the Aces. Leave us a review anywhere that you can leave a review. Maybe Spotify, maybe Apple Podcasts. But we love you guys, and thank you so much for your support. We'll see you next week.